Welcome, everyone. You know Marvin makes me do that, just like Mr. over there makes us all stand here till the next person's at the podium. Aikli, welcome. We acknowledge the land on which we are gathered today as unceded territory of the Wiyot. The Wiyot people continue to live and thrive in this land today, and it's surrounded by other traditional tribal and ancestral land, including the Hupa, the Karuk, the Wiyot, the Yurok, Matol, and Wailaki, among others. The Wiyot name for Eureka is Turichichi, meaning where you sit and rest. As this piece of land between the South Bay, Wichi, in the Wiyot language, when the Wiyot people are en route to the Mad River via canoe, they would stop and rest in what we know as Eureka. I'm a citizen of the Norelmuk Wintu Nation over in Trinity County, and I offer this prayer sprinkled in with our Wiyot. I'm loving Wiyot this morning, you can tell. Everybody's Wiyot today. In the Wiyot not, in the Wintu language, pardon me. And it's our tradition to stand and look up because we are summoning Creator, Spirit from above. Olabis, Ka'achepet, your Nichi is calling. Niabita, hear my prayers. The sky people, the water people, the land people, and all of your creations. Renew our spirit, Ka'achepet. Make us whole again. Olabis, Niabita. We honor the Wiyot peoples. Aho. Thank you. Thank you.
All righty. Good morning.
Good morning.
If this was a boat, it'd be, what do they call that? Listing? Yeah, this is the fun side. Is that what you're saying? I think the whole place is the fun side. To the band, thank you for the Gordon Lightfoot tribute. That was delightful. I saw a photograph on Facebook. My idol when I was growing up, and I was fortunate enough to get to interview him, spend an hour sitting next to him talking to him, was Harry Chapin, back when I was in college. And I saw a photograph yesterday online. James Taylor had posted it. It's James Taylor, Gordon Lightfoot, John Denver, and Harry Chapin. And there's only one left. But they were all, what do you call it, mugging for the camera. They all had roses in their mouths, and they were making silly faces. It was just delightful. So, alrighty, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. You've got the first string is back in place, so you won't be dealing with the second string now. We got the real people here this time. And we have a new thing we're going to try. I brought this from home, so let's see if this is going to actually work. In theory, we won't have to tell Marvin all the time to advance the slide. So we'll see how this works. Alrighty, let's first of all take a look at our now I'm going to let's see if this works. Now we got to try it. Does it work?
No. Well, sort of. Keep going.
I think Marvin did that. Whoa, look at that. Yay us. All right. Welcome to the 21st century. Okay. Together we will say the affirmation at the top of the screen, and then you will turn to somebody else and say the bottom part, and please say it with energy, enthusiasm, and of course love, and really connect with somebody when you say it. So together we say, we are a welcoming community where the vision of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. And find somebody else and say, I honor the path that brought you here this morning. And welcome to all of our guests today who are joining us for the first time. Welcome home. Nice to have you all here. Now I'm hitting a button. Yes, all right. Our announcements for today. I want to take a moment, a bit of personal privilege here, which I'm prone to do, but when we were in practitioner training, there was a whole section about, and I'm not going to go very far down this road, but is politics appropriate within the center? And politics is part of who we are. So this is not a political statement per se, but this is, I think a lot of us hurt right now over the shootings that have been taking place. The horrible one yesterday in Allen, Texas. What you did not know is there was one in Chico yesterday at the same time. Oh, this is going to sound horrible. Only one person was killed. 5 were injured. There have been 12 so far in May alone. And this is not the way of who we are. And I just wanted to take a moment and get us centered and realize that the universe is an infinite source of beauty and creativity and love and peace. And that is who we are at our core. And knowing that, I know that that is really what is taking place on this planet, and that is what is taking place in this universe. And I just want to release that into the law of mind, knowing it is already happening, and say, and so it is. Okay. Get myself recentered here. Our weekly schedule on the screen, all sorts of stuff going on, including yoga is back with Kathy, wherever Kathy saw her family. Wonderful. Kathy will be having her yoga classes on Monday and Thursday from 11 to noon. We are also returning to the Essential Ernest Holmes class for those of us who have been attending it. It comes back as Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning here at the center. Tuesday will be on Zoom. This is fun. Boy, I feel like I got power.
The TV with the remote.
Well, yeah. Which is true. At our house, this is me with the remote. Pause, but and my poor wife goes, oh, he's pausing again. But yes, I have the power. The healing service, Karen's not here today, but she has a weekly healing service. It is May 10th. Monthly, from 6 to 7:30, as you can see. A new group starting, and did you want to mention anything about this group? Okay, Angelica?
Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be home, definitely. I was really happy that Scotland weather was a lot like ours, so, I didn't feel like I missed home too much for that 2 weeks. But one of the things that I noticed while I was in Scotland is how, and I'll speak a little bit about this during my talk, but how important conservation and the environment is to them. And I came home thinking, what the hell's the matter with us? One of the things I realized was in reading various things, our recycling station closed down. It was going to cost too much money to ship it. China was no longer taking our stuff. It was going to cost too much to do anything else, so we just shut it down. And I thought, wait a minute, when does money come above the planet? And so I thought everything has to start with us. So I decided to have a group called I'm Going Green, or Going Green. So it'll be Saturday morning from 10 and, for about an hour at 10 o'clock. And we'll decide at that meeting how often we're going to meet or what we're going to do. But one of the things I want us to do is to, bring ideas of how we could take care of Mother Earth a lot better and each other. All right?
So, question from David in the back.
David, yes.
It's going to happen here on Saturday, right?
Yes, here, Saturday morning at 10 o'clock.
I'll be here. I may have to miss one Saturday because
It's only probably going to be once a month or something. So, but we're, as a group, we're going to choose how often we're going to meet.
okay. I'm big time.
Good. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, everyone.
I'm sure we've all thought about it, but once in a while, it's just really amazing when you realize that everything we have comes from the earth. Every single thing, including us. It just gives and gives and gives and gives and gives. I believe that it is a living entity. We're just too small to even realize that it's alive. But thank you for putting this together, Angelica. Okay, other events taking place. We have got a Science of Mind art. Did you want to talk about this too? We're going to get you your walking steps going back and forth.
The Science of Mind Archives is something that is really pretty amazing. They have been collecting things forever, for a long time. Science of Mind has been going on for 100 and some years now. But so the archives decided to do this lunch and learn thing. And this is not something that we're putting on as a center, but that Science of Mind, the Centers for Spiritual Living, Science of Mind Archives is putting on. It's a Zoom thing, and you could see this month it's going to be the 18th. And so it's the third Thursday of the month. I've attended a few of them, and it's really interesting. So you get to hear Dr. Holmes speak. He did a lot of radio stuff. So you get to hear him speak, and it's led by someone, and I can't read what it says up there. Oh, her name is Chris Plynn. Okay, so Reverend Chris Plynn is going to do it. So if you want to learn more from another avenue, here's a way to do it.
And before you leave, let's change the slide.
Oh, all right. Yes, I have a whole stack of flyers over here. I need some street people to put flyers up on posts and everything. You know that we have been doing this. I don't know how long this center's been doing Twice Nice, actually. How long have we been doing it?
Easy 20 years.
Since when?
Easily 20 years.
20 years, wow. But I have people that will see me in the parking lot and they'll go, are you going to have that Twice Nice sale again this year? Yes, and now I have a date for you. We're including our plant sale as well this time. So, because the same volunteers do both events, so we're just putting it all in one. So, I'll say this. Catherine has sign-up sheets. I know a lot of you signed up last week for doing different things. It takes our whole community to do this fundraiser, and this fundraiser brings in $8,000 to $10,000 for us. So, which is a nice chunk of money. So, I know Donna's going to be sort of sponsoring the clothing area, which this room, for those of you who are new, this room becomes a big clothing store and linens and all that stuff. The center, the foyer becomes a jewelry store and a collectibles place. The social hall becomes dishes and office products and holiday stuff and everything else you can imagine. And then you go out to the parking lot and there's furniture and sports things and plants, lots of plants. Anybody who's gardening or if you have extra plants at your house that you decide you don't want to keep anymore, bring them. And if you're doing spring cleaning, spring is really here now. So if that urge to do spring cleaning comes upon you, make sure things are clean and unbroken and priced if you want to. We would really appreciate that. And bring them here for us to sell. Yes, Olivia.
I have a spider plant that's always giving off babies. I could bring a ton of those.
I think we already have a ton of spider plants, but bring them anyway.
I have little planters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't forget to put
Karen.
the prices on there.
I said that. Thank you very much. Definitely put the prices on. Where you could call me and I'll come and meet you anytime. You could also bring them next Saturday, probably at 11, after our Going Green meeting. Yeah, most everything is going down in the basement, which we totally cleared out last year after our sale, but now it's really full again.
We have a lot of planter containers down in the basement, different sizes trays, and all different sizes. So if you want to see me after church, I'll open the basement up and get you some of those.
Great.
Do you want to speak about a silverware?
A what?
A silverware?
Okay, go to the next one. Some of you remember that.
I'm just here to look pretty.
Yeah, some of you remember that we used to go to Asilomar every year during the summer for a week for a wonderful experience. Well, you know, COVID sort of put the kibosh on that, but now it's coming back to Asilomar. It's only like 3 or 8, 9, 10, 11. It's only 4 days this year, but it's definitely an experience that's worth it. Asilomar, for those of you who don't know, is a gorgeous campgrounds, or not camp, retreat center right on the ocean outside Pacific Grove, Monterey area. And it is the food in the cafeteria from the last time I was there a few years ago was really, really good. So you get meals, you have a nice room, you get to hear lots of different speakers, go to workshops, just hang out on the beach if you want, or walk in the redwoods down there, etc. It's a really good experience. So I told you, check the main newsletter for more information. If you are not on our newsletter list, if you put your name on the guest book along with your email, you will get on the list. And if you put main newsletter right by it, then I'll send it to you, because it actually went out last Monday, or Tuesday, something like that. I hope that's it.
You'll be back in a minute. We set up this whole process where we would have a moderator so Angelica didn't have to come up and announce everything. Funny how these things work. All right, what have we got next? We have got, let's see, our bookstore. I can talk about that. We have books. Buy them. We have our little pantry, which needs feeding because we help feed the community. By the way, regarding the newsletter and signing up for the people who are new, if you got the little bag, there's a card in there. You could also fill out the card and just give that to Angelica, and that'll put you on the mailing list. Please.
The little pantry is really hungry.
Yeah, we need.
I put stuff in there out in the little pantry out there yesterday, and we hardly have anything.
Yeah, so bring in whatever you can, non-perishable packaging, preferably pop-top, but don't bring in, somebody brought in a Ziploc bag of spaghetti sauce once. I mean, thank you for the generous offer, but that doesn't work. So if you have some extra food, or if you want to go to the store and just pick up when you're going grocery shopping, grab a couple of extra cans, bring them by, put them in the little pantry on Mondays from noon to 4. Is that what it is, Walkinaw? Walkinaw will be here, and she will gladly stock the little pantry. And if you bring them with multiples, like let's say a box of lots of oatmeal packages, just as an example, Walkinaw will divide them into lots of smaller packages, so they will go further. Yes, Annie?
And regarding books, do you have a limit of the amount of books you'll take?
For the sale?
Yes.
Not that there's no limit that I'm...
Like if you
I'm
have
hoping
500.
Michelle is going to do the book.
Yeah, if you have 500 books.
Oh, that's way too many. I don't think we can handle that. But if you save them, the library takes them for their big sale too.
So are you talking about donating books?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's take that offline in terms of, I appreciate the question, but I'm already stretching this really far.
In the basement already.
Excuse me, we have a lot of books. Oh, books for the Twice Nice sale. Okay, I thought we were talking about the bookstore. Okay, yeah. All right, and speaking of that, please, we need volunteers, not only for Twice Nice, but as greeters. Thank you for greeting today, for passing the plate. See Walkinaw for that too. And I think that sums up all of our announcements, short of our theme for the month. Tried to make it cheery and upbeat because it is the merry month of May. And with that in mind, Susan Hesse, coming back from Scotland, is going to come up here and do our contemplative.
We have highway cleanup this Saturday, the 13th of May.
Oh, this coming Saturday? Okay.
So, follow the wall in Arcade at 9 o'clock. If you do a search on your email, you can pull up Max lecture or highway cleanup, and it'll give you a text or an email, and you can let me know, or just show up 9 o'clock.
I'll put it in tomorrow's newsletter.
Pardon?
I will put it in the newsletter that comes out tomorrow.
We are really involved in our community. Good for us. Okay. You know how to use this? Do you want to know how to use it? Okay, well, it'll sit here. when it's your turn, if you want to, just the forward
By the
arrow.
way, I love Amy's
Yeah.
spring decoration.
I was going to say, it actually kind of goes with the slide that we had up a second ago, too. A very, very similar thing. Okay, Susan, it's all yours.
It's all mine. Okay. Hello, everybody, and hello to those on Zoom. It's nice to be here back in the community. For the merry month of May, the thought came to me of laughter. So I have a couple of readings. The first one is by Ted Loder, and the second one is Ernest Holmes. So I invite you, as I read these, to just relax into your chair, close your eyes if that is comfortable for you, and take these words in. After the reading, there will be 1 minute of silence, and then Jackson will lead us into the invocation. Laughter is a holy thing. It is as sacred as music and silence and solemnity, maybe more sacred. Laughter is like a prayer, like a bridge over which creatures tiptoe to meet each other. There is a laughter of God. Let's laugh it. There is a song of the universe. Let's sing it. There is a hymn of praise. Let's praise it. There is a joy, a beauty. There is a deep, abiding peace. Let's experience it. And I am grateful, and I know that we are all blessed. We are all blessed because we come from the one life, the one creative source that is within all. As we experience this, as we acknowledge it, as we welcome it, it blesses our lives and those around us. And I am so grateful to be part of this community, to be the part of these pure hearts and souls that are ever expanding, ever reaching for greater truths, for greater consciousness, lifting not only ourselves in this community, but our world. We are here at this time because our consciousness is needed to lift the consciousness of this world. And so I am grateful knowing that as we stand in truth, as we stand in our faith and in our joy, and let laughter and happiness and grace and beauty bubble from within us to all we see and say and do. All I know is it is good and very good. And I know that this gathering is also good and very good and will speak to each one of us in a different way. A song, a smile, a hug, a word, a thought. We will all be touched by something today, and for this I am so grateful. And so it is.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And we're also blessed to have returning to our fearless leader, Reverend Angelica.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Wait just a minute now. Gotta find my piece of paper. It's great to see everybody this morning. How wonderful. How wonderful. You know, this morning I decided to call my talk What I Learned on My Summer Vacation, or What I Learned on My Vacation, since it's not summer yet. And, you know, when you set something in mind, the universe does everything possible to make that your reality. So this trip for me was really a learning experience. It was a very good learning experience in many ways. But one of the things that I wanted to mention this morning is that I think we went to one of the kindest countries I've ever been to. I mean, I always thought Hawaii was the kindest country, you know, the aloha spirit and everything. I mean, I lived there for so long, and I really embodied it. But then when I went to Scotland, everybody was so friendly and kind. And when I decided to sit down and really work on this talk, I decided to use Chat AI. Has anybody tried that yet? Do you know what it is? Chat AI is you put something in it, like Google has it, many different servers have it. You put something in it, and then it gives you a whole bunch of information. It's like, I don't even remember what I asked for, but I got 4 things about Scotland that I thought I would share with you because they work really well in this. I know people, there's a big controversy about whether AI is, you know, that's artificial intelligence, right? That it's not, we shouldn't really get into it as much as some of us would like to because it could be scary and, you know, they could take over. You know, I mean, actually, if robots were ruling the world, it would probably be a kinder place. I mean, I'm sorry. You know, when Scott said that, when Scott acknowledged the shootings that have been going on, I myself had been thinking about that, the fact that we're only in June. Oh, excuse me. Well, I'm in the future. I'm going to tell you, June is much better than, being from the future, right? Okay, my mind isn't quite back together again after being on holiday. And those of us that traveled together know that we spent at least 24 hours awake in order to get back here. So that sort of threw me off. However, to get back to this. The first thing they said is that Scottish people are generally known for their warmth, hospitality, and kindness toward others. They're often described as friendly and welcoming, and visitors to Scotland often remark on the kindness of the locals. And I totally agree with this. Everywhere we went, no matter which city we were in, which was a few of them, everybody was so kind. You know, I had this experience that I was feeling this sense of kindness that everyone had, and I was, feeling it. And one night we were at a restaurant, and there was a little area in this restaurant that's probably as big as half of this platform, and it had one of those, it was for children. It had a whole bunch of stuffies and different things for children. It also had one of those machines that you work the handles and it, the claw comes down and picks up something and, then you get that thing that you've picked. Well, this little boy, he was really little. I have maybe 6. I don't know. But he's playing with it as I'm coming back out of the washroom, and I happened to watch him for a few minutes. And I realized that he hadn't put any money in it. He was just playing with the things to see what he could touch or pick up or whatever he was doing. And so I thought, I saw a little sign on the machine that said 4 tries for £1. So I thought, I got one of those. So I said to him, here, you want this? And I handed it to him, and he looks at me and he goes, you are so kind. I hate to say this, but I think that if I had done the same thing to a child, of course, no children in Humboldt, of course, but maybe in a bigger city, if I had done that, they would have just snatched it and stuck it in the machine so that they could play. But this little boy just took it, and he just looks at me with these eyes and says, you are so kind. And I thought, wow. One of the ways that AI says Scottish people show their kindness is through their sense of community. And I really like that idea. Scots tend to look out for one another and are always willing to lend a hand when needed, whether it's helping a neighbor with a household task or organizing a charity event. Scots are known for coming together to support one another. And I seem to notice this everywhere we went. No matter what you asked for, they were ready to help. And it was a beautiful thing to see. There was something on television that I saw last night. I don't even remember what it was on. But there was something happening to someone. They were getting attacked. And everybody stood back and watched or took videos. And nobody helped. Where does that consciousness come from? Later in the show, this little boy says to his mother, why didn't you help? And she says, oh no, we can't get involved. It's not our business. And some more conversation goes on, and the mother says something about this thing that happened, and the little boy says, it's apathy. And I thought, oh my God, are we really that kind of people? Yes, I know that sometimes you might get hit if you're trying to save somebody. There's all kinds of things that could happen. But to stand there and video it? What the hell is that? Where are you going to post it? And why? It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't see us, I see us as a community. One of the things I love about us as a community is that we're helpers. We have the Love Squad, that somebody's sick, you call the head of the Love Squad, they make sure that somebody gets you meals, etc. when the few people in the last few years that have been really sick and passed away, we've been there to help them through that and to help clean their houses and do all that kind of stuff that happens. I know that if I reach out to somebody for something, that they will say yes, or if they can't say yes, they'll find somebody that can. So our community is already kind and compassionate. So I sort of feel like I'm speaking to the choir, as they say. But we're living in a time where there's so much anger going on that it's really hard to swallow. It's really hard for me to understand where this is coming from. And I still haven't figured it out. I know it will, the reason will show up sooner or later, why the collective seems to be this way. But then again, the other thing is that we only hear about the bad stuff. We don't hear anybody that does good. You know, the news is all about the negative. And I realized that when I stopped watching the news, that life around me became a lot more peaceful. I do, though, find myself running down rabbit holes sometimes because of something I'll see on Facebook, or I do watch Rachel Maddow on Mondays because I like her with the history and stuff. But sometimes, you know, it's easy for me to get into that place of anger. And I have to breathe into it and stop and allow myself to recognize the truth of everything. AI says, Scottish people are also known for their good humor and willingness to engage in conversation. They take time to talk to strangers and make them feel welcome, which is especially comforting to visitors who are new to the country. And I have to agree with that. There wasn't one person that I spoke to that you know, just quickly answered me and then left. In fact, I had this conversation with a lady who was cleaning a bathroom. And I said to her, wow, thank you so much for doing such a good job. You know, everything here has looked, in this hotel has looked so clean. And she comes over and she swipes her towel on the faucet that I had just used, and she says, well, if I don't do my job well, what's the point in it? I had to think about that one for a minute, because I know there's been lots of times in my own personal housework that I've just done it surfacely. You know, well, I'll just put this in a box and put it in the back room, or, you know, whatever. But if I can't do my job well, what's the purpose of it? We got into a conversation because I turned around and I told her about the little boy that had said to me that I was so kind. And she said that this gives her hope. I said, why is that? She says, we're training a whole new generation to live with kindness and compassion for each other. And so we might not necessarily experience it, but as they grow up, their children will then experience it, and on and on and on. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. You know, the fact that she was saying that they're consciously training their children to be kind and compassionate. There was another thing she said that was really important, but it left. So we'll just go on here and I'll remember it. The fourth thing was that the Scottish people have a strong tradition of philanthropy and giving back to their communities. Many Scots volunteer their time and resources to support local charities and causes, and the country has a long history of supporting social justice movements and humanitarian causes. I remember now what she said that made me laugh. So I was telling her, you know, another thing I really like about is that how everywhere I've been, everyone is for recycling and conservation and taking care of the earth. And she says, well, you know, the Scots were the first ones to find coal. So we started the whole mess. It's right that we clean it up. I thought, wow, that's really pretty amazing. Like I said earlier this morning, money in our country tends to be more important than the health. Yeah, than anything, that's true. But the health of our planet, the health of our people that are on this planet. You know, this, like Scott said earlier, everything in this world is made up of this planet. You know, and of our galaxies. You know, we have star material in our bodies. Every single one of us does. We have earth in our bodies. To neglect our planet is like if we had sin in science mind, I'd say it's a major sin. And yet what I know is, as I said before, it has to start with me. It has to start with you. It really, all of this stuff has to start with each one of us. We can't expect anyone to do it for us. We have to be conscious. You know, the Hawaiian people, which is the native people that I'm most familiar with, I went to tea one day at my Hanai mother's house. Hanai means adopted mother. And so I get there and I'm expecting us, we're probably going to sit out on her beautiful deck and, you know, have a cup of tea. And she says, we're going for a walk. So I say, oh, okay. So we go for a walk and we get to the edge of the native lands, because she lived on Hawaiian lands. We get to the edge of these lands and there's a big forest there, a tropical forest, and she stops at the beginning and she does a chant. She does a prayer, asking permission to come into this area. And then we're walking through this beautiful, lush, green area, and she'll see mamaki. Now, mamaki is a type of Hawaiian tea. And she'll stop and do another chant until finally she found the one that said to her, as she was chanting to it, that it was willing to be our cup of tea. And we had a delicious cup of tea on that deck that I knew we were going to, but I thought it was going to be Earl Grey. But it made me start thinking about all the times that I would be driving along the road and I would pull my car over to the side and I'd jump out and I would grab kahili ginger when it was in bloom. It's really gorgeous and smells very good. And I would just get out of the car and rip it, you know, just grab some and rip it. And after being with her when she asked permission for the tea, I decided to ask the plants when I would pull over. And the first time I did it, I realized that every other time I had done it before, it was like I had to struggle to break it, to get it off so I could take it home and put it in a vase. This time I went out and I started walking along the road and looking at all the various kahili plants and saying, I would really like to have some of you in my home. I'd like to have the smell and the beauty of you in my home. And I would like to invite one of you to come with me. And I would go to, what I realized is that the stalks broke off really easily. Instead of my having to tug them, they just broke off. Some didn't, and so I didn't take those. But it was amazing to me that asking permission made that job so much easier. What, David?
That's also central to all Native Americans.
I'm learning that. Yes, thank you for saying that. And I think we would do really good to start paying attention to the Native people's teachings. It's like when we were having all those fires, the Native peoples know what to do. And they, if I read the newspaper correctly, finally the fire departments decided to confer with them to figure out things, how to prevent it. So it's our turn. It's our time. I keep thinking that, basically our teaching is this. All there is this divine energy that we're calling God, and it's in absolutely everything. It's in the plants, it's in this podium or platform, it's in everything, animate or inanimate. It's everything. There isn't any spot where God is not, so to speak. Now, not only do we believe that, but we believe that as Jesus and Buddha and many of the masters taught us, that it's done unto us as we believe. So we got to get our stinking thinking out of the way. We got to start believing that we have a purpose for being here. We have to start believing that what we're seeing out there is not really the truth of life. We have to start believing in this idea that compassion and love and kindness are the topmost thoughts or experiences of our consciousness, instead of hatred and belittling. I just closed out my Twitter account because everything I read that was posted, there would be one really nice comment about something, and then 99 negative comments. And I thought, I don't need this anymore. And do you know, Twitter doesn't even tell you how you can get out of that. I had to go to Google to find out how to get out of Twitter. But it's like, oh, now I don't have that to look at. So, Dr. Holmes, Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, says, every heart responds to the warmth of love. Every mind yearns for its embrace, and no life is complete without it. Love is really the fulfillment of the law of good. Love alone can heal the world and cause people to live together in unity and peace. And when I read that, and when I see what's happening, I realize it's my job to love everything. Absolutely everything. Regardless of their behavior, regardless of circumstances, it's my job to be the one that stands for love. That's an old hippie thing, isn't it? I mean, we learned this a long time ago. So where did we go astray? Ernest Holmes also says, the radiance of joy in my own heart brings happiness into the lives of all of those about me. And I remember that little boy who said, you are so kind. That affirmation, him acknowledging that I was kind wasn't the important thing there. What was important was that he saw kindness. And you see what you are. We see what we are. We see what's predominant in our thinking and our feeling. So if we're going to experience this merry month of May, I want us to have a lot more laughter. I laughed more in the 2 weeks that we were on this trip than I've laughed in a long time. It was amazing. I mean, one night we were just doing belly laughter at a dinner or something, I don't remember, but my stomach was hurting, and I was thinking, gosh, I haven't laughed like this in a long time. So I want us to move back into that place of love where we acknowledge the warmth and the hospitality and the kindness and the compassion and everything that's all around us already. We just don't see it because we're titillated by other stuff that isn't conducive to our spiritual growth. So I'm inviting you this week to really be in that place where you let the radiance of your heart, the joy in your heart out, and you let yourself experience the world in a new way, through love, through laughter, through having fun. This month is about having fun. So let's have, oh, wait, I could do this. I just push the middle button.
You push the one that leads to the right.
One that leads, there it is. I pushed the middle one. Let's say this affirmation together, and then we'll do a spiritual mind treatment, which for those of you who are new, that's our form of prayer. I am touched by the joy of the merriment of May. I appreciate the energy of blooms opening with the rays of the sun. My intention is to give this energy of pure growth and love back to the world. So gratefully we acknowledge that there is only the one. One power, one presence, one heart, one mind, one life, one. We're all part of that one. That powerful presence of the divine is within us, living our lives through us, as us, working for us at the level of our belief, our predominant thinking. So I declare for each one of us this week that we allow ourselves to let go of all of the stuff that has bothered us, whether it be in our own past, our own relationships, or the stuff that we see around us. We just let go. And we breathe and we remember that who we really are is love. God is love. And so we let ourselves act from that place of love, acknowledging the goodness, the kindness, the compassion that's absolutely everywhere, and allowing ourselves to be kind. The Dalai Lama said, kindness is my religion. And so I choose for each one of us right now that kindness is our religion. And it is good, very good. And I know that through this choosing, each one of us feels a sense of expansion, feels a sense of joy in being alive, laughs more, has more fun. And we celebrate each other, knowing that everything, everyone, is this divine presence. And it is good, very good. So with a grateful heart, I release these words into divine law, knowing that they're so, and so it is. This morning we get to listen to Jeff.
And Doug.
Oh, and Doug, great. Thank you.
So this is a song dedicated to people who don't get around much anymore but would like to. And it's by Duke Ellington and Billy Strayhorn. It's called Don't Get Around Much Anymore. It's a coincidence.
Thank you. I'm not thanking for the applause, I'm thanking them. Just getting it clear. All right, now is that time where it is the sharing of our gifts. We have a couple of people who are going to pass the plate, and we realize that not everybody can afford to put a lot in. That's okay, put what you can. And if you don't have any cash to put in, because it's all energy, as the plate passes by you, as opposed to just shuffling it off to the next person, put a prayer, put some love, put some thought into it. Really honor that this is not about collecting money. This is about helping our community and ourselves. And the way we do it is through some of this currency. So together we will all say, I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. Band, it's yours. I know that there is only one energy, and that energy exists on all levels, from divine energy. It exists in the physical plane, the emotional plane. It exists within each of us. And this currency, this cash, these gifts, and this love is one way of transferring that energy out into our community and doing the good work that we all do. And for that, I am immensely grateful, and I accept these on behalf of the center, and I say thank you, and so it is.
So it is.
Okay, and we need somebody who would be willing to read our community statement of inclusion. I had printed it out in big text, but it's not here, so we'll put it on the screen. Oh, is it still there? Well, what the heck, we got it on the screen. Is there somebody who would like to come up, somebody who hasn't done it before even, although if not, we'll take somebody who is a established professional. All you do is read that. Anna, it's yours.
Go in.
You can read the small text or the big text. The bolded text, we all say together.
We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We're a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remains learners and listeners so we may grow together, and understands that oneness is not sameness. We know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well. So it is.
It is a new month. We have new music. I will ask Donna if you would lead this. The first time I ever heard the song was before I was involved in the center. I heard it in about 85. And I have to tell you, It changed my life, and I'm not exaggerating that. So I hope you enjoy the song as much as I do. It's all yours.
So, and there's 4 slides.
Yeah, 4 slides. Yeah.
So you get to love yourself the way you are over and over and over. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fear, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, for I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the bird